This week's vlog question comes from a couple that's entering Summit's premarital program. They ask, we just signed up for the premarital ministry at Summit, and notice we'll be mainly meeting with marriage mentors instead of a more traditional meeting with, say, a counselor or a pastor. We wanted to know what the advantages were that caused the church to choose this model, and anything you might advise us in order to get the most out of this opportunity. Would you mind helping us with these questions? Well, first of all, let me say congratulations. This is an exciting season in your life. And in addition to that, I just want to commend you for taking the wise and important step of seeking out premarital preparation. We're excited about our premarital program here, and I think the questions that you ask highlight some of the things that make it a really special ministry. Now, our premarital ministry here is comprised of three pieces. One of those is the Engaged Discovery Weekend. This is when you'll get together in the homes of some of our teaching teams, and you'll meet together with other couples in that same season of life of being engaged to have some times of teaching and learning exercises that you'll get to go through, sometimes as a group, sometimes guys and girls broken up, sometimes just you and your fiance. Second part is a series of seminars called Creating a Gospel-Centered Marriage. And the third component is the marriage mentoring. Now, your question was right in that the people that you'll meet with most frequently in this process will be your marriage mentors. Now, in this process, you'll hear from other teachers and you'll interact with other couples, but the mentors will be the ones that you meet with most frequently before and after your wedding. Now, there's several things about this that we think make it a really good approach. The first just has to do with the season of life that you're in. You're experiencing information overload and a high degree of stress right now, trying to figure out how to plan the wedding and the reception and the honeymoon, where you're going to live, changing lots of documents, making sure all of those things are in order. And that's without whatever content you're going to be learning through the premarital preparation that you go through. So in light of that, we recognize that content, as much as I love and believe in having excellent content, is not the thing that's going to change your marriage and set it up to succeed most. That's actually going to be relationships. That's what's going to have the biggest impact. So our biggest advice to you is to take your engaged relationship and your to-be marriage and surround it with other couples. Couples who love Christ, couples who are honest about their strengths and weaknesses, couples who are committed to enriching their marriage. If you do that, you'll set your marriage up to succeed and you will serve it well. And so what we want to do is to set up our premarital program with that main habit in place. That's why we pair you with marriage mentors who we believe fit those criteria, and we allow you to meet with other engaged couples through the Engaged Discovery Weekend. Because another thing that we recognize about a traditional model is that the more formal a mode of care is, the less accessible that care is afterwards. And so in a traditional model where a couple schedules an appointment and they meet in an office, well, that newlywed couple is probably much less likely when they have one of those simple questions that they just need clarification on that may result in an argument or a disagreement or some friction later on. They're much less likely to schedule an appointment to ask that question. But if they've been meeting with mentors in their living room, exchanging emails and phone calls, their ability to access those people is much greater. So in the traditional model, things tend to have to be that bad before a call is made to reach out for help. We don't want that for you because we don't think that's good for your marriage. We want that highly accessible touch. And because of that, I'll just throw a quick plug in here that this is why we want you to be a part of a small group, so that is a regular habit in your life, that there's people that you're honest with in that way. If you're not already in a small group, then ask your ask your marriage mentor leaders what small group they're in, and ask them if you can be a part of that one. I'm sure they'll say yes. Now you might ask, what about the benefits that come with more formal care? Where would we get those? I think you'll still get those in the model that we're using. First, you'll find that the teaching is led by very competent leaders, both in the seminars and in the weekend. Now, as you meet with your mentors and you study the seminars with them, you'll complete 15 separate assessments, 3 each in the area of foundations, communication, finances, decision-making, and intimacy. If as you go through those assessments, it reveals areas that you and your fiance want to or need to work on your marriage or relationship in more formal counseling, we have those options available to you, and I'll include links to those at the bottom of this video. And so your last question is one I also want to address. How do we set ourselves up to get the most out of this process? Just a few points there. One, enjoy the process. This is a sweet season of your life, and I want you to expect that your premarital preparation is only going to enrich that. You will remember and get more from something that you enjoy, and I think we've set this ministry up in a way that that will be a real possibility. Secondly, be open. Marriage is new to you. You should know what to expect. You have lots of questions because this is something that you haven't done before, and that's a good thing. Bring those questions. Those questions are not just good for you, they're good for your marriage mentors as they get to remember what that early season of their marriage was like, and your honest, eager questions is going to be a blessing to your mentors as they get to reminisce. Third, realize that you're starting something that is marital enrichment that is going to continue long after the wedding ceremony. Actually, till death do you part, as you'll say in a few weeks or a few months. And part of what we want you to gain from the way that we've set this ministry up is we want you to get to know the resources of marital enrichment, the seminars and the books that we offer and recommend, so that as you complete your premarital preparation, you have an arsenal of things that you can engage with that you say, that's something we want to learn more about. That was beneficial. We didn't get to spend as much time on it as we want. That you'll have ready access to those things so that you can continue on that journey of enriching the marriage that God has blessed you with. Thank you so much for asking this question, and I hope you guys have a wonderful time in our Preparing for Marriage ministry.